Okay, thank you for coming to our budget presentation of 2026. Merci d'être venu pour notre budget de la Ville de Kirkland pour 2026. Dans un premier temps, our presentation will have Guillaume Laforêt, our Director of Finance, presenting the budget side, and we'll have our Director General, notre Directeur Général, Joe Sanelitro, qui va nous parler des projets spéciaux, the special project from Council. So we'll start our session, and we'll ask... yeah. But that's for afterwards. Okay. Okay. Another one there for David? Okay. So, man, we got 5 residents. That's good. Okay, we'll start. You're ready, Guillaume?
Ready? Ready. Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. I know you're used to someone different doing the presentation, but we'll get used to each other. All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. Too loud? Yeah, it's a little too loud. All right. Perfect. So we're gonna ease in the presentation with an easy slide. Profile of the city of Kirkland. That didn't change too much, for sure. So 9.6 kilometers in area. 83 housing units, 116 kilometers of streets, 81 hectares of green spaces, including 27 parks, so none of this has changed. Population of 16,689, so that... 19,000, sorry. You know what, I think I probably need glasses. Getting close to that age, I think. 19,689 inhabitants. Thank you so much. So that's slightly higher than 2025. This is directly from the ministry. And current number of full-time permanent positions. So we're at 112 employees, which is one more than last year. I'm gonna just draw your attention to the right side of the chart here of the slide. So the assessed taxable value for the city of Kirkland, I'm sorry it's a bit small, but it's 7.5 billion. So as probably most of you know, there's a new role, a new assessment role, 2026 to 2028. So we're at 7.5 billion compared to 6.7 billion of taxable value in the previous role. So that's an increase of 11% role versus role. All right. L'ordre du jour, puis vous allez voir, je vais sauter du français à l'anglais un peu pendant la présentation pour bien couvrir les deux langues. Donc, l'ordre du jour, on va regarder ensemble, évidemment, les revenus, les dépenses opérationnelles. Le PTI va être présenté par notre directeur général, Joe. Et ensuite, on va regarder la dette à long terme brièvement. Puis, finalement, la taxation qui est, je pense, ce qui intéresse beaucoup de gens ici. Mais le taux de taxe, l'impact sur la maison moyenne, on va voir ça à la fin de la présentation. Donc, voilà pour l'ordre du jour. Au niveau des revenus pour le budget 2026. Est-ce que tout le monde suit? Pas trop vite? Parfait. So, this slide is it's a summary of the revenues. I'm not going to go right now into every detail because there's going to be 3 more slides where we're going to dig in every of these main revenue categories. So, let me just point out first, that pointer is really small. I don't even know if you can see that, the red dot. But 80.2 million here, total revenue for the 2026 budget, compared to 76 million for the 2025 budget. So that's a $4.1 million increase, or 5.46%. Alors, si on va dans le détail de ces revenus-là, on va regarder le premier, so real estate tax. Taxe foncière, évidemment, c'est la plus grande catégorie de revenus pour la ville de Kirkland, comme c'est le cas pour la plupart des villes aussi. Donc, on est à 70,7 millions total de taxes foncières versus 67,1 millions dans le budget 2025. On va regarder ligne par ligne parce que c'est quand même une grande catégorie, une catégorie importante. Donc, première ligne, les revenus de taxes foncières résidentielles. Donc, évidemment, c'est la plus grande catégorie de revenus de taxes foncières. On est à 34,7 millions, une variation de 900 quelques mille dollars. Je ne rentrerai pas dans le détail parce qu'à la fin, on va voir le taux de taxe et l'impact sur la maison moyenne, donc ce qui explique cette catégorie de revenus-là. Au niveau des revenus de propriété industrielle, donc la deuxième ligne ici, on est à 13,3 millions versus 11,5 millions au budget 2025. Donc là, on a une bonne augmentation de revenus pour les propriétés industrielles, de 1,8 millions ou 15,5 %. Donc, deux facteurs principalement qui expliquent cette augmentation de revenus-là. De un, je vous ai dit juste un petit peu plus tôt qu'il y a un nouveau rôle foncier 2026-2028 qui a été déposé. Les propriétés industrielles ont augmenté en moyenne de 35 %. Donc, évidemment, c'est une grosse augmentation de valeur. Deuxième élément, non seulement la valeur a augmenté, mais vous avez vu probablement en vous promenant le long de la 40, il y a des nouvelles propriétés industrielles dont la construction a été terminée en 2025, donc qui sont inclus maintenant dans le budget 2026. Vous avez vu les bâtiments Rosefellow, il y en a 3. L'agrandissement Canadian Tire, ça en est un autre. Il y a aussi les entrepôts Pandora. Il y a Fleurco, qui est un autre bâtiment industriel. Donc évidemment, tous ces bâtiments-là sont maintenant taxés comme propriété industrielle, puis ça amène plus de revenus. Donc voilà. Au niveau commercial, l'histoire est un petit peu différente. Je sais que, évidemment, tout le monde sait que les commerces de détail ont été frappés, notamment pendant la pandémie. Il y a aussi les propriétés à bureaux qui ont été durement frappées. D'ailleurs, si on prenait juste les propriétés à bureaux pour le nouveau rôle 2026-2028, ils ont perdu de la valeur. Donc, par contre, les propriétés commerciales, donc les centres commerciaux puis tout ça, ont pris de la valeur un petit peu dans le nouveau rôle. Donc, all in all, on a une augmentation de revenus de 3 % pour les propriétés commerciales. Finalement, on va regarder le terrain vacant et la taxe d'eau. Terrain vacant, évidemment, il y en a de moins en moins, mais il en reste quand même encore. Ces terrains-là ont aussi pris énormément de valeur dans le rôle 2026-2028, donc 37 quelques % de valeur dans le nouveau rôle. Donc, c'est ce qui explique aussi l'augmentation importante. Disons, en dollars, ce n'est pas un si gros montant, mais en pourcentage, ça fait 25 % d'augmentation. Il reste encore, peut-être, ceux qui se posent des questions, « Ah, il me semble qu'il ne reste plus beaucoup de terrain. » Les Sea Green, évidemment, le projet est commencé, mais il n'y a pas de certificats qui ont été reçus pour une finalisation de construction, donc tout le terrain est encore taxé comme un terrain vacant. Voilà. Au niveau de l'eau, pas beaucoup de changements à ce niveau-là. Le 90 $ pour le tarif de l'eau demeure. On a juste réajusté un petit peu, donc on a diminué de 100 000 de budget pour ajuster la surconsommation d'eau, pour ajuster à ce qui s'était fait en 2025. Donc voilà pour les revenus de taxes foncières. Au niveau des revenus de sources gouvernementales. So, 3 main sources. The first 2 lines, so schools, elementary schools mostly, from school boards, so we get money from those properties. Affaires sociales et gouvernementales, so the second line here, CPEs, CIUS also, so it's that line. The transfers here, it's different grants that we receive from the government. I won't go into too much detail. It's only the variance budget over budget, so 2026 versus 2025 is only $100,000. So that's for other government sources. And then the last revenue caption, the last revenue stream is other revenues. Donc, pour les autres revenus, plusieurs différentes sources. Je vais juste parler des trois variances les plus importantes, si on veut. Donc, si on va à la deuxième ligne, licence, permis, autres, il y a quand même une augmentation significative de 342 000, principalement reliée à des permis pour des constructions qui vont arriver en 2026. Donc, évidemment, les coûts des permis varient en fonction des coûts de construction, notamment pour l'industriel, le commercial, etc. Donc, les Sea Green, ça va prendre de la vitesse, on va dire, pour le projet. Donc, le coût des permis a été budgété en conséquence. Il y a aussi un agrandissement de Jubilant qui est notamment en cours, donc le permis a aussi été budgété dans les revenus en 2026. au niveau... Est-ce que je vais trop vite? It's OK? Tout va bien? Parfait. Au niveau des droits de mutation ici, transfer tax, on a légèrement augmenté le budget de 200 000 simplement pour refléter la réalité du marché des transactions immobilières pour les maisons résidentielles. Donc, on ne budgète pas les revenus pour les transactions commerciales parce que c'est trop incertain d'une année à l'autre. Donc, on budgète seulement pour les résidences, dans le fond, les transactions qui sont reliées aux résidences.
That's what we call the welcome tax.
Oui, welcome tax, taxe de bienvenue, exactement. Finalement, dernier ajustement au budget qu'on a fait en 2026, c'est les intérêts sur les investissements. Ça représente les intérêts qu'on reçoit sur notre compte de banque. Donc, il y a quand même un bon montant dans le compte de banque, ce qui fait qu'on reçoit pas mal d'intérêts. Par contre, vous avez vu que les taux d'intérêt de la Banque du Canada ont diminué quand même quelques fois en 2025. Donc, ça a un impact pour nous aussi. On reçoit moins de revenus d'intérêt. On a ajusté un petit peu le budget. On a diminué de 132 000 $. Voilà. Maintenant, on va passer au niveau des dépenses. Donc, les dépenses de la ville, au total, là, normalement, je fais un petit quiz, mais c'est ma première année. Je vais vous laisser une petite chance, là. 80,2 millions, même montant que pour les revenus. 80,2 millions, comme on a l'obligation de présenter un budget qui est balancé. Je n'irai pas dans le détail de la première ligne tout de suite, qui est le budget local lié à Kirkland, parce qu'on va le voir dans la diapositive suivante. Si on regarde la dernière ligne, ça, c'est la quote-part qui provient de la Ville de Montréal. Quote-part de la Ville de Montréal, 41,3 millions versus 39,6 millions pour le budget 2025. Donc, une augmentation de 1,7 quelques millions de dollars de la part de la Ville de Montréal, ou 4,4 %. Globalement, la quote-part de la Ville de Montréal pour les villes de l'agglomération, en moyenne, a augmenté de 7,5 %. Donc, peut-être qu'on peut se compter chanceux. J'imagine qu'il y a des villes qui ont été touchées plus sévèrement par une augmentation de la quote-part de la Ville de Montréal. Si on regarde maintenant les dépenses qui sont reliées à la Ville de Kirkland, donc les dépenses du budget local. First line, salaries. Salaries and benefits. There's a $1.6 million increase in salaries and benefits, mainly 3 drivers. So, annual salary increases related to agreements, etc. So that's one. There's 2 new positions also in that budget. I know I mentioned before on the first slide that there was 1 new position. So currently there's 1 new position in the full-time equivalents, but there's an extra body also added in the budget, which is not filled, but it's in the budget. So it's included in those charges. There's also an investment that will be made in municipal patrol in 2026. So increased coverage by the municipal patrol, which obviously costs money. So that's the $1.6 million here. If we go to service de la dette and contrat, 3% increase. I'm not going to go into details of these. If we go down to biens et services here, so there's a $400,000 increase, or 7.8%. Within this category, so the main driver of this increase is mostly urban forestry. So we've been hit, as all of you mostly know, by meteorological event within the last few years, pluie verglaçante, emerald ash borer, all that stuff, which means that we need to increase the work that we do on our canopée urbaine just to maintain a certain standard around the city. So we've had to increase the budget in this category. And then finally, I'm going to go to special projects, which is this line right here, projets spéciaux. So we're going to go from $1.8 million to a little over $2 million, so an increase of $275,000. That line is actually reserved for either capital projects or non-recurring items, so special projects, so maintenance around the city, investments that the city would make, but that is financed by the operating budget. A lot of cities don't even have any amount for that, so it's a real, and it's been built over the years in Kirkland, and it's useful, so it helps. Either we don't use the surplus or we don't use the debt, we're able to finance a portion of these projects with the operating budget. On that slide here, you see essentially the expenses, so les charges par service. Il n'y a pas eu de gros changements dans le breakdown des dépenses de la ville. Donc, on est toujours, je vous l'ai mentionné un petit peu plus tôt, la quote-part de la Ville de Montréal représente 52% du budget total. Ensuite, on a les salaires qui sont à 22%. Puis, vous avez des différents autres types de dépenses, donc contrats, biens, services, 12 et 7%, projets spéciaux, 2%, puis le service de la dette qui est à 5%. Donc, notre directeur général, Joe, va vous présenter les projets en immobilisation pour l'année 2026.
We had normally planned to invest about $10 million in capital investment projects. And Council this year decided to increase it to $15 million. Additional works, the municipality is 64 years old now, and therefore a lot more of our underground networks are being touched by that, so additional funds had to be allocated to the capital investments. So we've gone from 10 million to 15 million is what we're looking at. As a municipality, we're obliged to present a 3-year plan, but tonight's focus is really going to be on 2026 to list, I guess, the projects that we've been working on and getting ready to go for 2026, and you're going to get a breakdown of what some of those projects are. So if you're looking at the first line item, which is basically our road resurfacing program, there are 2 major works being done. There's a street in Timberlea called Beaubois that's going to be reworked. When we go in, we can normally do asphalt curbs, fire hydrants, signage. So when we leave there, the street is good for the next 25 years. And like I said, there's Beaubois, and there's also a section of Aesop, which is closer to the Nicambon area. There's a section of that being done, and as well as the small little circles that are attached to that. Line item number 2 is Iguanakadzuk, or our infrastructure, underground infrastructure. So I was mentioning how Council is investing some extra money into that category. And what you're seeing there is really lineage, or le gainage en français, puis lining of the pipes that's being done on the aqueduct lines. And the work that's being done there is, I don't see it. Sorry, Calais Street. There's a section of Charlevoix and Montague that are being done. There's a section there's Sutton that's being done. There's Place Colbert being done, and so on. So there's a few streets that are actually going to see their water lines lined this year. And the purpose of that, of course, is to eliminate the brown water situation that we have from time to time throughout the municipality. If we look at the parks and green spaces, we're looking at 2 investments, basically. We're looking at $500,000 investment in lighting at the Smiley Field, and we're looking at $60,000 where we're putting a rubberized surface on our first. So we had done our first water park was at Harris Park. It was done in concrete. That's what the standard was of those days. We since then have done 2 parks. We've rubberized the ground, and it's much safer for the kids. Less knees being scraped, less elbows being scraped. So we're going to actually rubberize that particular platform in 2026. You're seeing 1.1 that's really going to be in replacements of larger vehicles and equipment. So there's some trucks that need to get repurchased, or I guess there are trucks that are going to be sold, and there's new trucks being purchased for that amount. And the last one is the réfection des bâtiments lampadaires. That's basically our building works, as well as we had put a program in place about 4 years ago where we were going to convert all of our street lighting from standard lighting to LEDs. And we were going to do that over a period of 7 or 8 years. So most of that money there is going towards, about $1 million of that is going towards a certain number of lamp posts that are being converted over this year. And we're going to continue that program for the next 2 or 3 years. You also have some accessibility. So we're making some improvements in some of our buildings where we're making them more accessible for handicapped individuals. We're putting in the sports complex elevator that's been down for a few months now. So we've finally got the tender, got a contract for that. That's going to be installed this year. We're also going to create plans for the potential replacement of Kirkland Chalet. So that's being done this year as well. And that's about it for the special projects. So there's more. You'll get a list of them that will be on our website as well. But I wanted to give you basically a highlight of the larger ones that are being done in 2026.
Thank you, Joe. So we'll go for a question period.
No.
There's a few slides left.
Oh, you still have
Just a few slides, yeah.
But after the presentation, we'll have a question period for Joe and Gabrielle. Rio.
Starts with a G.
Okay, go ahead.
Ouais.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I only have a few more. So, long-term debt. Long-term debt, I think that the chart speaks a little bit for itself. It used to be around 36, 35, 30 for a few years, for I guess a fair number of years. And it's been there's been some repayments, as some of you probably know, over the last few years. So right now, at the end of 2025, we're at 10.2 million long-term debt, which is very low. I wanted to give the city of Montreal as an example, but maybe it's not a good example. But they're capped at, they have a policy to not go over 100% of their actual revenues. So we're at 10 million of long-term debt. Our revenues are at $80 million, so we're very low. 80 million, yeah. I was going to quiz you on that amount, but yeah, it's 80 million, yeah. Taux de taxe, so alors, pour la maison moyenne, maison unifamiliale moyenne, donc ça inclut pas les condos, mais maison unifamiliale moyenne, on a mentionné tantôt que le nouveau rôle foncier 2026-2028 a augmenté de 11%. Pour la maison unifamiliale moyenne, c'est 9%. Donc la maison unifamiliale moyenne était à 899 508 au rôle précédent. Elle est maintenant rendue à 983 500 au rôle actuel, donc 2026-2028, pour une augmentation de 9% ou 9 points quelques pourcents. Évidemment, comme par les années passées, le taux a été ajusté et l'augmentation va être aussi étalée sur les 3 prochaines années pour arriver à 983 500 en moyenne en 2028. Au niveau des taux de taxes, so those are the 3 main tax rates. Let's look at the residential one. So 0.5825 was 2025. 0.5813 is 2026. And the other 2 rates are commercial and industrial. Probably doesn't mean much. So let's go to the next slide. You're going to see what the impact is for the average single family house. For the average single family house, so we were at 5240 municipal taxes in 2025. 2026, we're going to be at $5,392. That's an increase of $152 or 2.9% for the average house, which is, well, in 2026, $927,000, all the way up to $983,500 in 2028. That's it for the presentation. It's going to be available on the website also, probably tomorrow morning, Lise, I guess. Perfect.
Merci, Guillaume. Merci, Joe. So we'll go for a question period. If you have any questions for me, Pierre, or Guillaume, or Joe, it's a time to ask. Yeah. Well, I believe we'll just take it. I'll just pass it around. Go ahead.
The other revenues, I'm most curious. We have money saved up, like a regular savings account. Kirkland has a
Yeah, we've
something
got
similar to that.
67 million in the bank account, right?
67 million.
Yeah,
That's 2 years ago.
yeah, it's still there.
Okay, so we have that amount of money,
Yeah,
then why don't we pay off our debt with it?
But this year, we elected, just for this year, to basically refinance because the interest rates were lower. We had one that came due, basically it was 4 million, if I'm not mistaken, 2 million. So we decided to refinance because the interest was low. But our aim is still to reduce it. Like you saw, we're at 10.2. We did change philosophy, but for this year, we took basically the provision of putting more in our infrastructure, what Joe mentioned, and also for future year, we'll be basically continue our position or council's position.
But that's not the way I would, that's not the way that I manage my family finances. I have a debt, I have cash,
Yeah.
I pay off my debt.
Yeah.
That part I don't understand from the way I see it.
That's what the plan we did, but this year we took a setback. We decided to refinance a debt of 2 million, but also to inject more on the infrastructure, like Joe mentioned, from 10 to 15 million. So,
That makes sense only if they pay you more interest than what
Yeah.
you borrow.
and the interest also
That's
went.
the case.
That's the case.
That's the
Okay,
case.
that's the case. Keep doing it.
Okay, perfect. Bob,
That's 67 million, what are you doing with it?
it's gaining in, you saw the interest of 1.4 million?
Our new complex, where is it going? this
Okay.
year?
It's, for this year, we're looking at, first of all, having the meeting, strategic planning that we'll be doing for the next 3 months. In there, we'll basically have to put up to date our 2 new counselor of what was done. You're talking about the aquatic
The
complex.
new complex,
Yeah.
yeah.
And from there, we'll explain what we did, but in a nutshell, we had that professional or that consultant explaining, yes, there's a need. We had our survey, and then now we're doing some studies to see the financial aspect, how much would it cost based on the revenue that's coming, that are here presently, and the future revenues, like the projet privé.
Green.
Yeah, that's part of the, but we're still on at the bottom. But it's not, there's nothing being allocated this year for that. We're still in the planning phase.
Where,
But we're moving ahead.
you're moving. Have you been going around to see the projects, other projects and everything?
We did one in particular, was the Dorval complex.
Got more than one.
Yes, but let's start our planning, strategic planning. We'll probably go and see more. There's one probably that would be of interest. It's the one in Varennes, and there's a few more. But that's our intention also.
The $67 million that
Yeah.
you had, whatever, I didn't quite catch how much interest we gave.
You saw it on the slide, it's 1.4,
There's,
we're up to,
there's about half of it, so we still have about 30 million in GICs earning about 5% of interest. The other portions in the bank account, because GIC's rate are not, they're not better right now, at, I'm gonna say about 3.6, 3.7% interest rate.
Okay, but did I hear correctly that you, Mr. Mayor, said 1.something%?
no, what you had on the, that's the total interest that we're receiving,
Yeah.
$1.4.
Dollars.
Whoa, now more mixed up. When you say 1.4, is that percent or is it
No,
1.4 million?
million, 1.4 million.
Okay, I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear you.
Okay.
The 2025-26 agglomeration share versus local budget.
Yeah. 52%, yeah. But you look at Soraya, imagine they're cutting everything right and left. The 52%, should it be lower? Definitely it should. I'm just looking, they cut parking passes for their elected official. They just stopped recently what they call it, la boîte bébé. It's like a free gift they would give to new parents, but they're cutting everywhere. Montreal's in a financial bind, and they have to cut more. And the 5.2, that's the shared service that we're basically paying, as you know, the police, the firefighters, l'itinérance, and all these projects. But, you know, we're still fighting. We got a meeting on Thursday at 8 o'clock with Soraya. We did our presentation in the National Assembly. We met her beforehand to tell her the incoherence, the lack of democracy at the Aglo Council. So we're asking basically to meet at least 6 times a year on Aglo expense. And also we want somebody to sit on their executive to know exactly what's going on. But for now, she's open and we'll see how far she wants to go. Bob?
The tax, the water tax, is that the general
Stable.
money
Yeah,
for everybody?
everybody.
Okay.
On the first, how many gallons, Joe? $90 on the first 10,000?
273 cubic meters.
Yeah, the first $90, it's on the first 10,000?
273 cubic meters.
Oh, okay, that's it. And everything that's over, there's an extra charge.
Extra charge. Okay.
Okay, any more questions?
Oui, d'accord. C'est énorme.
Oui,
C'est pas professionnel par rapport au budget, si on veut, de la municipalité.
ouais,
On dit qu'on augmente des frais et des employés pour la sécurité. Et
ça c'est dans notre cas.
Je le comprends, mais c'est pas les honoraires qui devraient couvrir ces affaires-là.
Pas pour ce qu'on appelle la police de quartier ou public security.
Oui.
C'est complètement parce qu'ils font pas les mêmes fonctions. Même ils font pas les mêmes fonctions du tout.
On les voit jamais.
Bon, ok, on va s'arrêter là, c'est pour ça. Tu parles de la police?
Oui. Non, mais on parle de tous les services. On n'a pas
Ah.
la valeur. Si
Ouais.
on faisait notre propre service de police,
Ouais.
ça nous coûterait bien moins que qu'est-ce que la quote-part nous contribue dans le budget.
Bien, je vais te donner un exemple. Dans notre code-part, nous, on paye pour la police, pour la station numéro 1, juste avec Kirkland, on paye 8 millions. Ça, on a 5 villes qui sont rattachées. Et puis, si tu regardes les 5 villes, il y a Picketteville, Bédorfé, tu peux avoir Sainte-Ville puis Saint-Anne-de-Bellevue.
Ouais.
Mais si tu regardes le montant d'argent, on dépense juste là 58 millions qu'on donne à la Glo. Est-ce qu'on a le service voulu? Ça, je suis
Non.
d'accord, non. Mais si tu regardes de l'autre côté, Crime dans le West Island, on est... Ben, c'est la réalité.
Oui, c'est pas ça que l'on parle, mais de toute façon, le calcul peut être changé. Ça ne va plus être sur la valeur
Oui.
foncière totale de la municipalité.
On est d'accord avec ça.
Est-ce
mais-
qu'il y a des mouvements de ce côté-là? Est-ce que-
Non, la Côte-Part, ben, regarde le mouvement que Picketteville a décidé de faire, d'amener la Ville de Montréal et le gouvernement en cours pour justifier ce Côte-Part-là. Ça va pas nulle part à l'heure actuelle. Par le temps que ça va finir, ils vont avoir dépensé probablement un bon 15 millions en frais juridiques. Pour le moment, ça va nulle part. La position, c'est notre position de, premièrement, embarquer ou avoir un lien plus direct avec une ouverture d'esprit qui est Soraya, la nouvelle mairesse. Et puis, on a expliqué clairement ce qu'on a fait à l'Assemblée nationale. Il faut commencer en quelque part. Aller avec les Côte-Part, oublie ça. Montréal le sait qu'il nous doit des 15 villes défusionnées, 158 millions par année en tout, qu'ils nous chargent de toutes les 15 villes défusionnées. Donc, essayons pas d'aller là. Ils n'ont pas l'argent pour le faire. Puis encore moins le gouvernement CAQIS, qui ne devrait jamais mettre ce 158 millions-là, qui serait un manque à gagner si on gagnait. Notre cause, elle est bonne à l'heure actuelle. Il y a un commencement. Le commencement, c'est avec la nouvelle mairesse. Je pense qu'elle est prête à nous écouter.
Il y a eu le nouveau rôle cette année.
Oui.
Pourquoi on n'a pas reçu d'avis par la poste qu'on a reçu dans les années antérieures du nouveau rôle?
Le nouveau rôle, bien, tu vas l'avoir des journaux. Dans le passé,
En même temps que le compte de taxes.
ouais, tu vas le recevoir. C'est tout le temps en même temps que le compte de taxes. Puis le nouveau rôle, mais comme tu sais comment c'est calculé. Parfait. OK.
Merci.
Autre question? Yeah, go ahead.
To follow up on that.
Yeah.
600,000 extra, a lot of it for security, correct? Kirkland security, so what type of increases are we, what are we?
No, we're adding, basically, first of all, a couple of years back, we had it, basically, we're covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, okay? Before, we weren't covered during the nighttime position, but now we're covered. And we're adding,
We're doubling up on the number of personnel that are going to be on the road.
yeah, we're doubling the personnel. That's on our public security, and what else, Joe?
Plus the supervisor as well.
Plus we're hiring a
Seven days,
supervisor.
24/7. Double the people.
Yeah.
We have to.
And then we should be seeing double the amount of exposure. We should.
The intent is to
Yeah.
get them on the road and get exposed for our rest of the
But keep in mind, dear, you know, it's like sometimes some people will complain, I don't see the water trucks, I don't see the sweeper, but we're in our house. Like, just a sweeper, an example, sweeper will pass around your house at least 15 times during the summer. But the same thing for public security. You know, we're not always outside, but they're there, they're doing a good job.
My concern is more about security. But,
Yeah.
So doubling that, I'd like to see that section.
Yep.
But on the police, Station 1,
Yeah, Station 1,
just on that.
Yeah.
So,
Four cop cars?
there's nobody, we don't see police right now.
but listen, the total personnel there, there's 50,
$50 million we paid.
just for us, okay, that's our
We
share.
don't see them.
No, we pay probably 58 million for 50 cops, or no, I wouldn't say cops. There's clerical, there's police, there's some detectives, and there's the local supervisor, socio-communautaire. But yeah, there's 2 cars operating anytime on a district that's unbelievably wide, you know. But, you know, on one side, it's true, we don't have the coverage, but they know for a fact that if you look at the statistic, and you can get those statistics directly on the SPVM website, where they'll give you all the 39 stations. We're ranked number 1 crime-wise, you know. There's some crime, and we don't want it to happen. We're the lowest. That's why they send us for retirement. Now listen to this. Either you'll have a new commander that's retiring or a new one that's in training. That's the picture of Station 1.
I understand. Crime is low, I think, right? You're saying it's the lowest.
Yeah,
But there's still crime. There's
Oh,
still,
definitely.
There's more break-ins
yeah,
in the homes.
Yeah.
And that's up again.
Yeah.
You understand? There's one, the bank that I live with, they have a little kiosk on the highway, the Desjardins, right, in Kirkland. And that bank machine keeps getting vandals to the point where they, so crime is there.
okay, well,
I'm not sure
no.
it's for-
Are you one? You mean the one on the
Yeah.
south side? The Desjardins thing?
Right, yeah, right, there's a pet store right next to this.
In the mall, where the Hardin Mall.
Oh, okay, Arden Mall.
That, she just says,
Yeah.
over the last few years, there's no teller.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bank machine, and they keep, it's an easy target, it's right off the highway, so
Mhm.
they keep going in. And literally, the last I spoke to somebody, they sawed the machine in half.
Yeah.
They sawed it in half. So they said it doesn't.
Huh?
So the crime is there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's important.
Must be reported, but that's what we're saying to our residents. that When you've got a break, you have to report it, you know, to our policemen.
But do the police force, it closes at night,
Yeah, but there's dispatchers that where you've
but
got the
how many
police.
cars are out at night?
But that's what I was saying, 2 cars.
2 cars at night.
Yeah, but overall, I have to say, we had some shootings in the past. You remember Beaubois situation? We had some residents basically showing up here where we had a consultation with our commander, and he told openly, first of all, he could basically provide us information on the crime itself, but we had substantial extra protection during that time. So it's not an easy
I
task.
think it's important to note that we've got good cooperation from Station 1.
Yeah.
So I understand we have plans and I understand that we're concerned about that. But we do have cooperation. They do come and meet us regularly. They do keep us advised when we ask for stuff. They're there. So it's not all bad.
No.
We've got good cooperation.
And they're at our Kirkland Day, you know, and they're in all the social events.
I'm just saying it's a statement. It's not, I guess, I understand that we want to see more police in our neighborhoods, and I get that. But I also want to make sure it's clear that they're also very involved, that they're also very present.
Very involved.
With the resources that they have, they're making sure that they allocate them properly and give us the best service they can with the resources they have. Understand Station 1 is part of a massive organization, so the commander and these men and women in that department are doing what they can for us as well. I want to make sure that's highlighted. It's just not, they're not present.
And I'll just give you a comparison. If you look at Pearland, they've got a population close to 80,000. And first of all, they had to cut 2 years or 3 years ago their public security. There's no public security. You want to know if a bike was stolen? You know, they have a little cupboard at the station on Pierrefonds Boulevard. Listen, it's not easy. There are certain sectors that are worse than others. But for now, like Joe was saying, and our council can basically vouch for that, we got good service from our station. But crime will happen.
Careful belongs to Montreal. Yeah, so.
And that's why they don't have any service.
Well,
So it sounds, sir, like less crime here.
Yeah.
So they're putting less resources in Station 1 because the crime is there. Putting somewhere else, the resources are in the money, where there's higher crime. And it sounds like we have to spend more on public security.
Exactly, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Yep.
But then our public security, they also have limitations, they're not armed.
No, they cannot be hurt, no.
Our public security is there to fight municipal violence
Yep.
and to assist the police when needed, but they're not armed. They
Right,
don't have the same
our
power.
presence will help with, let's say, break-ins. During daytime break-ins, more presence.
Or presence.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if they see something, I don't know what their power is, can they respond?
No, they have to call Station 1.
They'll be on site.
is there going to be more cars?
Yes.
Yeah. No, for our public security, yeah. Yeah, we're beefing it up. Any more questions?
Oui, on parle de réduction, on parle de crimes très bénins en ce moment. Les
Ouais.
revenus du REM, ça va attirer certainement.
Ça, je suis pas d'accord, là, mais c'est l'opinion de certaines personnes.
C'est revenu dans toutes les municipalités où il y a un système de réseau.
Ben, tu me montreras l'étude, s'il vous plaît. Ah, OK. J'aimerais ça voir ça. Et puis, s'il y en a, c'est un petit peu comme lorsque le cinéma est arrivé en place. Oui, les jeunes se rassemblaient là. C'est qu'il n'y avait pas de contrôle en tant que tel, mais c'est beaucoup mieux. La police du quartier 1 font leur patrouille régulièrement. Il n'y a pas de crime majeur. Il peut y avoir peut-être des infractions, mais c'est tout. Mais il va-tu en avoir, il n'aura-tu pas? Écoute, les gens débattent. Tu vas avoir un Tim Morton qui va être probablement encore là. Mais pour le moment, moi, j'entrevois rien. On va quand même s'assurer avec Station 1 où on a un bon contact avec eux, surtout au début, s'assurer de ne pas avoir ce qui se passe à Montréal, ou les itinérants, ou les gens qui accostent les gens dans le métro. On va s'assurer que ça se passe bien. Tu sais, c'est notre limitation. Et puis avec le taux de criminalité dans l'Ouest Island, où il y en est, écoute, il peut y en avoir, mais on va le contrôler dès le début. Hein? Pardon? Oui. Any more questions? Yeah.
So on that, I'm just thinking, so the Rams,
Yeah.
do they have, I'm just thinking, do they have their own security?
Yeah,
Yes, they do.
They
They'll
do.
have security in that.
In the station, they've got security.
Okay, so they have their own.
Yeah, but
I don't know
again,
about the station itself, but the rails, they're all.
but again, they're not like a police officer. You know, there's certain limitation. A little bit like what you find in the metro in Montreal right now.
Which is pretty bad, actually. So, let's say there's little petty things, I don't know, in that.
It could happen, but for now, let's wait.
So who's responsible for that?
Who responds to that? That would be the SPVM. That's Station 1.
Two officers.
Yeah, but in the daytime, I'm talking at nighttime.
Yeah, well, I just was kind of looking.
Yeah. And normally, if there's something going on, they're pretty fast. We had a case at Smiley Park this year. They were there pretty fast.
The possibility they work on, they don't simply work on the number of cars that are allocated to the city. So if something's happening, there's a need for them, they'll bring these cars from other places as well. A little like the fire department is doing, right? So when the fire department comes to a fire, depending on the magnitude of it, they bring trucks in from different areas, right? It's the same thing for the police, they're bringing cars from different areas as well. So as the need is there, they can.
Any more questions? Yes, go ahead.
I feel like I understand it's a very big area, and I understand like it's difficult for SB to respond to like cover all these like breaking things that are happening because it feels like it's on the rise. But and I know that like you said it's like a smaller presence. It feels though like you used to see that SB a lot more like in the neighborhood and like going down highways, you see them on like rural, like watching people like run the stop sign or sometimes on like shouting at like they do like more in the neighborhood. It feels like a lot more now. You like exclusively will see them like on the service road. And obviously like people speeding is like a danger, but it feels like it used to be like you occasionally see them in the neighborhood, but now it's almost like exclusively you're just monitoring the service road, which like it is a benefit to like catch people speeding on it, but it's not like to curb, but it's not really as big as like people speeding on like Highlands or St. Charles. It just feels like they like it feels like there's a much more diminished presence in them like in the neighborhood. It feels like they kind of just check the service roads now.
That's where we want them in the neighborhood, going around our streets, especially in summertime, you know, where you've got kids playing in the street. Even in the wintertime, you've got some kid, I won't mention the street where they were playing hockey. So, but, you know, they're there, you know, probably not as much as we'd like them to be, but we're compensating with our public security and where we've got a president. And sometimes it can distract some break-ins, like that happen on certain street, especially around Christmas time. You know, you've got some everywhere. And Fairview Shopping Center, it's one of the worst places for cars to be stolen also.
I will say there's a big presence now. I think Fairview, like if you go to the parking lot, there's
Yeah.
always a trust.
Yeah. Any more questions? Ben, listen, thank you for all coming. And si vous avez d'autres questions par après, vous pouvez me contacter ou vous avez mon numéro de cellulaire. Donc, pour le moment, on va adopter le budget pour les 3 présentations et puis aussi pour les projets spéciaux. If you can wait, we'll just pass it in the next 5 minutes. OK, merci. Bon, OK, perfect. We'll start with our meeting, the 7 o'clock meeting. OK, adoption de l'ordre du jour. I need a proposer.
Just a minute. Pour la séance extraordinaire du conseil de la ville de Kirkland, donc juste pour mentionner que c'est pour le lundi, le 19 janvier 2026 à 19h, et spécifier, parce que ça n'a pas enregistré au début, là, que la présentation pour le budget PTI en fait partie et la période des questions également en fait partie. Donc, l'adoption de l'ordre du jour, il est proposé d'adopter l'ordre du jour de la présente séance extraordinaire du 19 janvier 2026 à 19h, qui comprenait la présentation du budget PTI et qui a été suivi de la période de questions.
Un proposant.
Je vais le proposer, Luciano Picciacca.
Et secondé par...
Le secondé, c'était Bouchard.
Allez-y.
Pour le budget 2026, it is proposed to adopt the budget of the town of Kirkland of the year 2026.
Un proposant.
I will propose that, Karen Cliff.
And second.
I'll second it, Mike Godin.
Merci.
La période de questions a déjà eu lieu, donc c'est la levée de la séance.
OK, levée de la séance, un proposeur.
Je le propose, David Bisson.
Et secondé par...
I'll second that, Nancy Kokonasides.
Merci, Nancy.
Donc, pour la deuxième séance qui concerne le PTI, donc l'adoption de l'ordre du jour. Donc, il est proposé d'adopter l'ordre du jour de la présente séance extraordinaire du 19 janvier 2026, comprenant la présentation du budget du PTI, laquelle a été suivie préalablement d'une période de questions.
Excellent. Un proposeur
Je le propose, Nancy Kokinesitis.
et un secondeur.
Je vais le seconder, Steve Bouchard.
Merci.
Donc, le PTI il est proposé d'adopter le programme triennal des dépenses en immobilisation de la ville de Kirkland pour les années 2026, 2027 et 2028.
Un proposeur
Je le propose, Luciano Picciacchia.
et un secondeur.
And I'll second it, Mike Godin.
Merci.
La période de questions du public a déjà été répondue et donc je suggère la levée de la séance.
Proposé par
Je vais le proposer, Karen Cliff.
et secondé.
I will second it, David Bisson.
Merci.
Et enfin, pour la séance extraordinaire du conseil municipal pour 19h30 qui a été convoquée, donc la suite pour la troisième, donc c'est l'adoption de l'ordre du jour. Il est proposé d'adopter l'ordre du jour de la présente séance extraordinaire du 19 janvier à 19h30 tel que déposé.
Un proposeur.
I will propose it, Luciano Picciacchia.
And second.
Je le seconde, Nancy Kokinesitis.
Merci.
Adoption bylaw number GN 2026-50 entitled Bylaw Imposing the General Property Tax for 2026 and adopting other fiscal measures is presented for adoption. Considering that the object of this bylaw is to impose a general property tax and rates in accordance with the categories to which the units of assessments belong, this bylaw also determines the coefficient applicable to the category of non-residential immovable for the 2026 fiscal year, the interest rate for outstanding balance, and the applicable penalty. Considering that notice of motion has been given and that a draft of this bylaw was tabled at the regular sitting of the Municipal Council on December 1st, 2025, and that a copy is made available to the public on the town website. Considering that modification has been made to this bylaw between the draft submitted and the bylaw submitted for adoption, all numbers have been updated to reflect the 2026 rates and coefficient. It is thus proposed to adopt with changes bylaw number GEN 2026-50. This bylaw will come into force on January 23, 2026, date of publication of the town's website and billboards.
Propose.
I propose David Bisson.
And second.
Je vais le seconder, Karen Cliff.
Merci.
La période de questions a également déjà été répondue, donc à moins qu'il y ait d'autres questions, ce sera la levée de la séance.
Un proposeur
I'll propose that, Steve Bouchard.
et secondé.
And I'll second it, Mike Godin.
Merci d'être venu. Thank you for coming and have a nice evening. Belle soirée.
Merci.